All right, everybody, this is Breezy, and it's time for her one-on-one. We had her on the round table as well, and she made me laugh, and that's good. And that's, well, these days it's harder to do. At my, as Joe says, at our age, which I'm still saying is 25. Breezy, I'm, hey. All right, so Breezy,
No,
let's.
I say I'm 25 too. I'm right there with you.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so let's start first. Favorite ballpark memory.
I mean, obviously, I have to go with I was at Game 7 when
Ooh.
the Angels won the World Series. So I
Something you'll
don't
never
like
forget.
really remember it. I
Okay.
remember like very little bits and pieces. I was young, but it's our one and only championship, so I have to say that as an Angels fan.
One and only champion. You guys will get more.
Yes.
You guys will get more.
Yes, we will. Very soon.
What's the funniest thing you've ever seen live at a ballpark?
Seen so many streakers run on the field, but there was this one. I think it was actually at Petco Park, and the guy was doing like, I mean, he was bobbing and weaving every single security guard, and they eventually grabbed him and didn't mean to, but they pulled his pants. And yeah, it was like, oh wow, like I'm glad I was actually here because obviously they always cut it when
Right.
people get on the field. So.
Right. Of course.
Yeah.
I was at the Angel game one time when they was it last year where the guy kind of bobbed and weaved and then he started in left field, he came down to right field, but he bobbed and weaved and then he hopped over the fence and he didn't realize that security was gonna be right there waiting for him. Yeah. He's like, all right, I lose. So, yeah. Nice try. Nice try.
Yes.
What's the coolest thing you've seen live?
Coolest thing I've seen live, I would say, I mean, obviously, like I just said, the Angels winning the World Series, but for a different answer, I was at the game on June 3rd, 2017.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm going to say?
I do, but go ahead.
Albert Pujols, he hit his 600th home run, and it was a grand slam, which was incredible. But it was like every game leading up to that 600th home run, every at bat, like we were all sitting there waiting with our phones, and to actually be there for it. And I was with my dad, which was really special in and of itself. So, yeah, it was a really, I remember like exactly where I was sitting, the whole thing. So it was really special.
Don't tell anybody this. We'll just keep this between you and I. But I always liked Albert Pujols. And even when he was wearing your guys' jersey, I would cheer for him. I loved him even more when he was wearing our jersey and you guys were paying for it.
Yeah.
Even when he came back and he was playing with the Cardinals, he had a 2 home run night against the Dodgers, and there were some people online that were pretty upset. And I thought, oh, we're watching something special, so we just gotta let that be.
He's a legend.
Gotta let that be. So, final question for you: what makes baseball so special in your mind?
I watched the Red Sox documentary on Netflix a few years ago.
The comeback one, or the one with that they followed the entire?
They followed the entire season.
Yeah.
And I think that it just shows the absolute, just like, I mean, it is a grueling sport, and it is day in and day out, and just like watching the scrutiny that the players go through, and like just, I don't know, there's just so much behind the scenes, and they get on the field every night and you, for the most part, can't tell what they're really going through, and it's just, I don't know, like there's something so beautiful and magical about it, especially for the families that get to go out and be under the lights. And for myself specifically, it was a way to bond with my dad and my brothers, and now my sister and my nieces are super involved in it, and I get to go to games with them, and watching them grow up from like, they were like a year or two old when they got into it, and watching how they follow the game, and they have their favorite players and their girls, and it's just something that you get to pass on to the next generation, and it's just something outside of yourself that's bigger, and you just can't really explain it.
that documentary reminds you too that we don't realize that these guys are still human, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they come to the ballpark. They, what do you do when you play for Boston, but you're playing the Rockies and you're in Colorado, and your wife calls you and says, "Hey, little Johnny just cut his chin. He needs stitches." And you're 2,000 miles away, and you're supposed to go in mentally and be your best hitter or not make a mistake or anything like that.
Yeah.
When mentally you're thinking, I wonder how my kid's doing.
Yeah,
Type thing.
well, and I just saw an interview of a player. They were asking about Memorial Day. And he's like, I've never had Memorial Day where I wasn't at a baseball park playing a game.
Right.
Like what do normal
What do
people
people
do? I
do?
don't get to go to the beach and go, hang out and go watch the fireworks on 4th of July.
Yeah.
And I think people they forget that
Yeah.
they give up so much in order to be entertainment for us. And so that's something that's very special to me.
I love that. I love that. Great answers.
Thank
Great
you.
answers. I always love you. You got to come back when we do this again. We'll be doing it every month. You got to come back sometime when we've got a group of Angel fans here, and we'll have a lot of fun talking about it.
Of course, I'd love
Thank you.
to.
This is Breezy, everybody. She just gave you some of her funniest memories and coolest memories and why baseball's so special. And we look forward to, hopefully, you've enjoyed this entire episode between the round tables and the one on ones. So thank you so
Thanks for
much.
having me.
You bet.